ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cable TV. I'm Helen, I'll be your presenter for this evening, and tonight it's Outlet launch party time.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul.
This is Calyx.
This is Teebee.
And you're watching Cable TV.
He's been called the best DJ to ever grace the decks. He's been called the hardest working man in garage, a powerhouse capable of DJing for 10 hours without a break, and one of the longest serving DJs on KISS. It's man like EZ. EZ, thanks so much for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
I wanted to ask you first about how you first learnt to mix, because I've read that it was pretty unconventional.
I used to listen to like my mum's music and that, which was like heavily like reggae, soul based. But then I started like listening to pirate radio and discovered a few stations like playing house and sort of like hip hop and quite across the board really. I managed to get like one turntable from my uncle, and I managed to like sort of like mix one track into my tape deck. It's quite mad. You can read about it more online, but yeah, I wish I could still do that in this day. It's quite easy to mix in this day and age. You know what I mean? You've got so much aids and that you can mix by numbers now.
Can you tell me about Groove FM?
Wow.
Which, like, you started that in
you
your...
found out about that?
Yeah.
I managed to like get a little transmitter which transmitted around like a 1 mile radius. From that, it's sort of like escalated from there, from going from like Groove FM to submitting tapes to like proper pirate radio stations, and then I finally got on one called Dance FM, and the rest is history really.
What was your first introduction to the kind of garage sounds?
I came across this track called, I think it was the Sample Choir EP, and it was by the Todd Edwards, and it was from him that got me into garage. I found a station called Freak FM, and again I gave a little tape to them and they took me on. I started there in '94, stayed there till 4 or 5 years, and then that's how I became EZ UK Garage, really.
You were talking before about having plans to get back into kind of producing.
Yeah,
Is this something maybe for this year?
This year, without a doubt, that's the main thing I'm doing this year. I'm going back in the studio. But at the moment, the gigs are like, they're coming in really thick and fast at the moment. Like, I'm playing all over Europe at the moment as well, and loads of festivals coming up, loads of new territory.
From a DJ perspective, can you tell us what you like about playing cable?
You can actually like take your set a bit further. A lot of the place that I play at is, my set is very kind of like similar, but here you can come here and like sort of like explore, and the crowd really appreciate what you're doing, you know. You can like delve into other sounds and sort of like break away from the normal set, so that's why I love playing at Cable. Any event at Cable is always great.
What about Outlook? I mean, are you looking forward to the festival?
Oh yeah,
obviously?
big time. It's going to be my first time there. I heard so much about it and that, but I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We went to Outlook last year and it was really sick. I love the venue.
I went to Outlet 2011 and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, really.
It was like the best time of my life.
Obviously it was about the music, but it was more so, it was the vibe.
It was like a rave times a festival times a holiday, just madness.
Fresh from their triumphant showing at the Drum and Bass Arena Awards, where their game-changing releases on Ram Records won the Best Video, Best Song and the coveted Best Producer accolades, I'm joined now by Calyx and Teebee. Calyx, Teebee, welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for chatting to us today. And congratulations are in order. Well, like your success at kind of sweeping the board at the Drum and Bass Arena Awards recently.
Yeah, it was awesome, amazing night. I think Best Producer was a big one and Best Track. I mean, Best Video really was the one by the guy that directed the video, Andrew Rattus, who made an amazing video. But to have Track of the Year, Producer of the Year, yeah, we were chuffed. Seriously happy with that.
Congratulations also on the success of the album. How does your process kind of work when you work together?
To our strengths, we were solo artists individually before we came together as a pair. So we usually start something off, and the good thing about it is we always try and impress each other before we sort of hand over the idea or the initial sketch, you know.
This is your second Outlet coming up. Like,
Yes.
what are the big memories of the first?
The most unforgettable weekend of the year without a doubt, sort of left us pretty wounded. But yeah, it was amazing.
You've been quite vocal in the past about the impact of kind of downloading music on the industry.
Well, we got slightly different opinions on it, I think. Don't get me wrong, I don't support piracy, but you know, the business model has changed. Me personally, I would rather 100,000 people heard my music and loved my music, even if they'd got it for free, than, you know, 10,000 people bought it and another 90,000 never even heard it. So, you know, it's a blessing and a curse, really.
I agree with Larry to most of the extent. I just think that the public perception has gone totally wrong. That, you know, anything that's behind a computer is not a crime. The worst bit is you spend 5 years working really hard on something and you pour your heart and soul out, and then someone will just take it from you afterwards. I will never get over that. But I respect everything. I agree with Larry. I'd rather 100,000 people heard my music and 90,000 of them didn't pay for it than not.
What's your kind of favourite thing about playing at Cable?
One of my favourite things is the location of the DJ booth, how the crowd surrounds it type of thing, you know? Like, instead of having one long sort of tunnel where you can't really connect with the people in the back or anything like that, you got people on the speakers next to you. So like, wherever you look, there's someone. And I love the fact that the connection you have with people.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
It's time to elevate this sound.
Cable is the best place for this party because of the atmosphere, the venue, the people.
It's diverse, there's loads of good rooms, it's going to be a good vibe, and it kind of reminds me of the festival.
Cable's a bit like Outlook in a way, like it's got that vibe to it.
Music melts down.
The Outlook Festival party lineup has been chock full of bass music heavyweights, and my next guest is rapidly becoming one of the most sought after names on the scene. It's my great pleasure to introduce Urban Nerds resident Rattus Rattus. You're a resident DJ for Urban Nerds. How did that come about?
I first started playing like a load of weird like indie music mixed with grime, and managed to meet the guy who was running Urban Nerds at the time. Well, he was just setting it up and he was only 17. He was like, oh, I'm just starting a rave. And I was like, yeah, whatever. And then he handed me the rest of the lineup, and I saw the rest of the lineup. I was like, I've got to play this. And then played that, and ever since I've played every single one.
Obviously, we're here tonight to kind of celebrate Outlook. What to you makes Outlook such a kind of special festival?
It's the first time I ever played abroad. So to me, it will always be the thing I love playing more than anything. And of course it's grown and it's changed a lot, and you hear a lot of people talk about how it's changed and how they don't like the way it's changed, but the thing is, it's evolved with the music, and it's the one festival that I know of that I play that's solely dedicated to a brand of UK music. The whole branding of like what they do with Outlook in terms of like the launch parties all around the globe and stuff like that, they're just thinking outside the box when other festivals tend to think about their own country and not bother about other countries.
What everyone's waiting for is a Rattus Rattus release. Is there anything that we can maybe look forward to?
I've been kind of working really hard to try and find a sound that I would play personally. And finally, I think, found it. So I've just done a remix for Scott Garcia's label Chronic. And then I've just finished today a release for Sounds of Sumo, which is run by Crywolf. And that's hopefully coming out March time. I'm doing a mix for Snowbombing at the moment, which is coming out in February, which is like proper eclectic and trying to appeal to their crowd as well as appeal to a more broader kind of music crowd. And Urban Nerds are still rolling along.
Wicked, thank you very much.
Thank you ever so much, lovely to meet you. Thank you, Cable.
Get inside! Fucking terrified. Me nervous? Yeah. It made someone nervous. Punters.
I am privileged now to welcome onto the Cable TV couch one of the world's biggest sound systems and cornerstone of roots reggae culture in London and beyond for well over 30 years. It's the mighty Channel 1 sound system. Mikey Dread, Ras Caleb, amazing to have you here with us. Thank you for coming in. To start off, I'd like to talk a little bit about sound systems. Like, what is a sound system?
A DJ is just that it just turns up, you know, puts in the CD and whatever, but the sound system is different. You build it from your hands. We like to keep it authentic, and the way Channel 1 sound system is that people would identify that sound system because we build it a special way. We come in, we run the wires and the leads and everything, and we put amplifiers together, stack them up, you know, don't forget the turntable because we only use turntable. We're not CDJ. It's something what just goes with Channel 1 until vinyl, you know, strictly vinyl.
Majority of DJs go on set and they're just mixing. They're just playing a tune into a tune. Sometimes you don't even know when a tune's finished, right? It's just the same rhythm, the same beat, the same loop, the same everything, right? But you see, with we now, sometimes we like to introduce a tune, tell you who the artist is, right? Give you a little inspiration before the tune.
What do you guys think, if anything, about the recent controversy about Snoop lying?
Sometimes I say to people, don't judge a man as yet. Time will tell. And with Snoop Dogg, I'm not calling him Snoop Lion because, you know what, he's a lion without no teeth. Don't really look into it as anything, you know what I mean? It's just another way of making another money on something. That's all it is for him. Selassie.
What have we got to look forward to this year from Channel 1?
Outlook, obviously. And then, you know, you have Notting Hill Carnival, 31 years out Notting Hill Carnival. But then you have, we have to take the sound system right down to the south of France, Toulouse. Part of the sound system will be in a museum, whatever, for about 3 weeks. And then we take the other part of the sound system down there and play in a big outdoor arena. So there's a lot of things happening where Channel 1 is concerned.
It's keeping busy, eh?
We're keeping busy, you know, keeping busy and keeping it real and whatever, and trying to keep the reggae music flowing.
Thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you. Thank you.
Thoughts rearranged.
So that was the Outlook Festival launch party. What a lineup that was, and what a way to whet the appetite for Outlook Festival 2013. Bring on Croatia.